Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all Malaysians, wherever you are, whenever you are. Welcome to the second episode of the All Day Show with No Budget with Jason Leong. Intro music, no budget for live band. Now, a lot has happened since the last time I saw you, but the biggest problem I face is now there is a shortage of bread. Okay, what is wrong with you guys? You are clearing up the stores of bread. Okay, a friend of mine saw an auntie carry 10 loaves of bread. I understand if you want to hoard things like condoms, gloves, masks, but bread is a perishable item. It can only last 3 days or 4 days at most. How much bread are you all eating? Are you all shoving the bread up your ass? And here's how it's affected me, okay? My wife, this true story, went to buy bread. There was no more bread except for one last loaf of bread called the Gardenia Purple Wheat Bread. I never knew this brand of bread existed. Purple bread. This Canadian purple wheat. And now I have to eat this kind of bread. It's okay. Gardenia, want to sponsor my show? Now, throughout this COVID-19 pandemic, one man, one Malaysian has emerged as the savior of Malaysia. I'm of course talking about the Health DG, Datuk Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah. And when journalists asked him how does he feel about people on social media calling him a national hero, he said this.
Sekarang ni bukan, it's not about me, it's about what we can do together as one for the COVID. Jadi pada saya tak penting, tapi yang penting ialah perkhidmatan kita.
That is why you should be a hero. That is the quintessential element of being a hero, that you don't see yourself as a hero. You are truly saving Malaysia. Unlike some other politician who jump parties, backstab allies and betrays the voters' trust in order to save Malaysia. You see the difference? So please, protect Datuk Dr. Noor Hisham. Make sure he's okay. Make sure he gets enough rest. You want some Gardenia bread? Another big thing that has happened is that, of course, we now have a stimulus package announced by the government, 250 billion ringgit. And immediately, we saw a lot of assholes, i.e. rich people, who complain on social media. Why B40 are getting more than the other groups since M40 and T20 have higher living costs? If there is any group of people who has been burdened financially, it's the M40 and T20. Oh my God! Are the poor people not having bread? Then let them eat cake! How out of touch can you be? It's like you're waiting at the emergency department, you're in the green zone, you have a sprained ankle, and then you see 5 doctors attending another guy with a heart attack, and you go, why is that guy getting so many doctors? Shouldn't some of the doctors attend to me? Just be grateful you only have a sprained ankle, okay? And by the way, this is my theory. I think all these rich people who are complaining they don't get any benefits from the stimulus package, these are pretenders, okay? They've been flexing their fake wealth and now the bill is coming very fast at them, okay? This pandemic will expose these fake rich people for who they are and they are panicking. If you are truly rich, please help the people who need the help the most. Help the B40s, okay? Help the poor people, okay? We need them eventually, okay? And I feel very qualified to say this because I watched Bong Joon-ho's Parasite twice. Now, at the end of the national address for the stimulus package, our Prime Minister said this.
The situation we are now facing is unprecedented in history. And this government may not be the government that you voted for, but I want all of you to know that this government cares for you.
And of course, the current government truly is a government for all. Unlike that one time they cut the allowances to opposition MPs, that one time they fired Syed Azmi, a notable activist from the National Welfare Foundation, and at one time they stopped NGOs from delivering food to the hungry, the homeless and the poor. But yes, this government truly has a track record of telling the truth and not betraying anyone. So yes, they will be a government for all. Truly, I really believe them. Definitely, of course, absolutely, 100%. In times of crises like this, particularly health crises, some people will see it as an opportunity to market certain products like this.
When you open the seal, there's a packet of sodium chloride. Leave it open for air contact and then you wear it every day. This is Defend to protect you from 99.99% viruses, airborne viruses.
Now, for legal reasons, I'm not going to say that this product is full of bullshit. What I am saying is this product is full of sodium chloride, which is salt. It's salt. Salt will not prevent you from getting any viruses. let alone the COVID-19 virus. What are you trying to do? Give the virus hypertension with salt. Do not use this product. That is my personal opinion according to my lawyers. Okay, that's the end of my monologue. Now for the next segment is a comedy sketch which I shot and wrote right before we had the lockdown, and I call it the Durian Sketch. Enjoy. Hey, Matt, sit down, man. Eat. Musan King, baby.
Edible gold.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna have any durian today, guys.
Huh? Why? You having fever?
Diarrhea?
Headache?
Depression?
I know, I'm fine, okay? Okay, I have a small confession to make.
What is it?
Promise me you won't freak out. I actually don't like durian.
What? Why?
No. I've seen you eat durian a million times.
Yeah. I was pretending, okay? I just wanted to fit in, you know?
Since when?
Since I was like 8. I mean, I knew I was different from the other school children, right?
But you're Malaysian. You're supposed to like durian. It's in the constitution. Lubita, check the constitution.
What are you doing? You know that there are some Malaysians who don't like durian.
Yes, but I never thought it would happen to one of my friends.
Happen. It doesn't just happen, okay? It's just what it is. I just don't like durian.
When did you decide not to like durian?
When did I decide not to like durian? It's not a decision, okay? It's not, okay. What is the one thing that you hate to eat?
Brinjal. It's suspiciously purple. I don't trust it.
Okay. Okay. So, you're saying that I can make a decision to like durian. So logically, you can also make a decision to like brinjal.
I can't. It's not fair, okay? Brinjal is disgusting. Durian is delicious. It's so unnatural not to like durian.
Correct. What is more natural? Okay, eating soft, delicious brinjal, or taking a parang and smashing it through a fruit that has got armor and spikes, and that's not all. And then you gotta lick yellow cum off of these hardened testicles.
But the cum is so delicious.
Amen. Okay, Matt, just walk us through this. Is this like a phase? Are you trying to be cool, rebellious?
It's not a phase, guys. Oh, see, this is exactly why I didn't want to tell you guys, because I knew you'd freak out. And you know what? You're my closest friends.
Okay. Look. Okay. We're trying to understand this. Okay, it's a lot of information coming at one go. Okay, it's not a phase. It's not a decision. Okay, and together we are going to help you fight this disease.
It's not a disease.
Okay. Just relax. Okay, deep breath. Oh, Heavenly Father, give Matt the strength.
What are you doing?
I'm
Oh my
trying
God,
to
this is
help.
ridiculous.
Jason.
Okay, look. Just sit down. Okay, it's getting out of hand. Sit down. Look, okay. Okay. It's not a disease. It's not a phase. It's not a decision. It's just who you are.
Yes, and we will always be your friend, Matt. Whether or not you like durian or nasi lemak.
Actually,
Just take this one, okay?
okay. Actually, guys, I have another confession to make.
Oh, lama.
It's just confession day around here.
Okay, what is it?
I'm gay.
And that's not a big deal, man. It's 2020. We won't judge.
Out loud and proud, baby!
Yeah, we're proud to be an ally,
Oh my
man.
god, we're so honored that you wanted to share this information with us.
And
Honestly.
we're very happy that you're one step closer to be the person you make it.
This is huge. Guys, let's celebrate!
Yeah, have some durian.
Lick it.
Durian. Can't wait to have some durian after all this is over. Now for the next segment, I spoke to someone who is quite well versed in financial affairs to get his thoughts on the stimulus package. Today with me on the second episode of the All Day Show with No Budget with Jason Leong is Kusu Chuang. You may recognize his voice on BFM. He's the one grilling all the CEOs, CFOs, MDs, you name it, the top guys in business. He's the one making them sweat. Okay. I've always been very worried that one day when I have my own political or financial scandal, he'll be the one to interview me. So today, the interviewer becomes the interviewee. The Prime Minister announced a stimulus package designed to help Malaysians going through these tough times. Now, he used a very interesting example of Makcik Kia and how Makcik Kia can save some money. Does Makcik Kia really save that much?
Actually, they do. And I mean, from initial impressions, it appears that this stimulus package has been designed with a certain popularity quotient involved. Okay, because a lot of it is targeted at the households and individuals and the B40s. These are the lower income households, and there's a lot of handouts. I mean, there's kind of like there's a lot of brim cash payments. There's a lot of exemptions from paying duties, taxes, and you can imagine that the people in the kampong will be quite happy. But obviously, the stimulus package doesn't satisfy everybody, and there's been some complaints. I mean, it's very difficult to make everybody, all 33 million Malaysians, happy.
Is this a band-aid for the pain now at the cost of bigger pain down the line?
Yeah, it is. And when you look at the outright number of 250 billion ringgit, it's a lot of money. The headline number is huge. And when you look at these things, it's always a percentage of your GDP, which is the output of your country. So at 250 billion ringgit, it's 17% of the country's GDP. This compares to, say, Singapore. Their budget for stimulus is only about 11% of GDP, which, you think, so basically Malaysia's thrown the kitchen sink at this COVID-19. And they might be right, but there's a couple of things to remember. The Singapore GDP number is actually their country, even though they're smaller, they make more money than we do, okay? And also, when you analyze the 250 billion ringgit, not all of it comes in direct money from the government. I think only directly is about 10%, which is about 20, 25 billion ringgit. The rest of it comes from basically you and me.
Right.
So the outright injection from the government is only 10% of that big number.
Okay, so when you say that the government is in the hole for 10% of 250 billion, is that a good sign or a bad sign?
Well, it depends on how you look at it, right? Because the government, actually, Malaysia as an economy doesn't have all that much money. It doesn't have all that much fiscal headroom. So for them to say, hey, we're not going to go and borrow more money, we're not going to go and delve into our savings, we're just going to do this, and we're going to be strategic about it, that kind of makes sense. But then there's also an element of disingenuity by the government saying, oh, it's worth this much, but actually it's not worth this much because they're not really putting the money in the pocket. It's coming from you and me, right? I mean, if you take out $500 from your EPF every month, it might be counted, I think, but I mean, these are your long-term savings, you see. So it's two ways, right? A lot of people wanted it. A lot of people wanted to get into their account too and say, hey, I want to delve into my own money, my own savings to make it through. But it's almost a bit of a misnomer, Doc. You know what I mean?
It's like when I think it's like when the Prime Minister says, the whole moratorium on debt repayments for 6 months, that is worth 100 billion.
Yeah.
It's not 100 billion from the government's money. It's just 100 billion that the banks have deferred, right?
Yeah. So the banks get a hit, not you or me. So everybody in a way plays a role, right. But the government kind of like almost takes the credit for it.
So what do you like and what do you not like about this stimulus package?
Okay, I think the key thing is the helicopter money which comes into households, right? So in terms of details, look, I mean, that's a lot, right? When you look at households who make less than 4,000 ringgit a month, they get 1,600. Okay, so that goes a long way. Okay, if you make between 4,000 to 8,000 a month, you get about 1,000 ringgit. And if you're like 21 and above and you're single, you earn less than 2,000 bucks a month, you get 800 bucks. But this over a few stages. And then I think if you're someone above 21 and you're single and you earn between 2,000 and 4,000 a month, you get 500 ringgit. So this is something that has to come from the government, and I think they're doing that. What matters now is the speed at which they get into your pocket. Okay, nobody really knows how they're going to get it now.
Hmm.
They say, oh yeah, and just now my brother called me. He says, hey, bro, how can I get $1,000 in my pocket, right? Then I said, actually, I don't know, Lo, right? The details, I've got no idea, mate. You know, who do you talk to? Do
Yeah.
you go to the banks? Do you go to EPF? I have no idea.
And
And people need the money now.
what are your first impressions of our new finance minister? Last question, and this question is on the lips of almost everyone I meet, well, online nowadays. Are we in a recession, and will we be in a recession if you're not now?
I think Malaysia was okay, but then things have changed very, very quickly, very, very quickly in the last month and a half. Okay, COVID-19 essentially really hit the big time at the end of January 26, and in basically 2 months and a week, give or take, in fact, less than 2 months and a week, 2 months, right? It has gone to a global scale. And most countries around the world have had to deal with that, and that is already putting them on its knees. Malaysia has to deal with two more issues, one of which is the oil crisis, the fight between the Saudis and the Russians. They've got this huge war going on, and they're just racing to the bottom to kill each other off. And right now, Brent crude oil is trading at, I don't know, $20-25 a barrel. And that kills everybody that is dependent on oil. And Malaysia is a country that is to a large extent dependent on oil prices, right? Because Petronas is so big. Okay, so that's the second thing. The third thing is the Sheraton government. Essentially, they've come in, and no investor, no business person likes to have uncertainty. So out of nowhere, bam, you've got this new government, which has essentially walked in to the country, and they're essentially a bit of a backdoor government, right? Whether they like it or not, they are unelected. So you've got these three things in Malaysia now, and now I got no idea. I've got no idea what's going to happen.
Okay.
So yeah.
So
are we in recession? I don't know. Are we going to go into recession? The chances were less in January. Now they're higher at the end of March.
well, that is strangely comforting.
Well, not really, but I mean, we make do in the best of times, and we make do in the worst of times, right? So, as Monty Python once said, we always look on the bright side of life.
Right, that's it. And on that note, thank you so much, Chuang. Thank you. Bye-bye. We're going to close out the second episode of the All Day Show with No Budget with Jason Leong with a little bit of my stand-up comedy. Enjoy.
At the age of 15 to 17, during my adolescent years, when I began to get social, I go out at night, hang out with my friends. Sometimes I come home late at night, okay? Not criminally late, just uncomfortably late, Like come back 12 midnight, 1 a.m. Not too bad, right? And if my mom is awake while I come home, open the door and come home, right? If my mom is still awake, I know what she wants to say is, oh, I've been worried about you, but now you're home, I'm glad that you're safe. I know that's what she wants to say. But what comes out of her mouth is totally different, okay? So if I come home late, my mom is awake, this is how she welcomes me home. Hey, Jason, you think this house a hotel? You think this house the bloody goddamn hotel? Simply go out and come back to place. You think this house the bloody goddamn hotel? No respect for your parents. You think this house the bloody goddamn hotel? I was like, Ma, I know this house is not a hotel. Because hotels don't scream at their guests. I don't know what kind of shitty hotel you've been to, but the customer service in this hotel is horrible. And I know a lot of our parents said the same thing. You think this house is a hotel, okay? I always entertain this fantasy, What if all our parents who say, oh, you think this house is a hotel? What if all our parents pulled their money together and went into the hotel business? And they ran hotels with that philosophy. You check into Mama's hotel and all our mothers are there at the check-in counter, receiving guests, Okay. These are your keys. Don't lose the key, Go up to your room now. Clean your own room. We have no maid. Then you go down to a restaurant for a meal. Excuse me, can I have a menu? Menu? Whatever I cook, you eat. So choosy. You never appreciate what we do. One day we die, then what the fuck is this? Negative 5-star TripAdvisor review. Don't come here. Do not come here. Fuck this place. And so ingrained was this mental torture, right, and discipline in me, that at 17 years old, I went to Singapore for a debating competition. First time I left the country, by the way, 17 years old. And my school, Bukit Bintang Boys School, was so poor, they couldn't send a teacher advisor to accompany us. Just 3 of us boys in Singapore. They checked us into a hotel, no problem. But it came time to leave the hotel for the debating competition. I was so scared, I just called the reception to be safe. I said, "Excuse me, miss, my name is Jason from room 1020. May I please leave the hotel? I have a debating competition to go to. I promise I'll be back by 10 p.m. I promise. Please don't be angry, I promise." The lady was like amused, "Sir, this is a hotel. You can come and go as you please. You don't have to ask me for permission. I'm not your mother."
Okay, that's all the time I have to edit, research, direct, write, produce, and perform this second episode of the All Day Show with No Budget with Jason Leong. Till the next episode comes out, to all of my fans out there, please stay safe, stay at home, and keep washing those hands. And to all the frontliners helping us in fight this COVID-19 pandemic, thank you very much. And I hope you stay safe. And together, we're going to win this war. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Outro music. Copyright free, no budget.